Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Tuesday. I'm Peter Martin. Roughie not with us in the studio today, and all will become apparent a little later on in the show. Many people attending the funeral of Colin Weir, the majority shareholder at Partick Thistle. In the studio, as you can see though, two able men, two experienced men, as you can tell, with the lack of hair and the grey hair, is Hugh McDonald and Darren Jackson, and they'll be talking about these topics. So, signings, January transfer window. I just wonder if they will tip the balance one way or the other in the blue and the green half of the city of Glasgow in this title race. We'll also be discussing the Scottish Cup ties, which are coming up over the weekend, as well as managers getting sacked. It's all about football. Patrick Klimala is the name that I'm talking about. First of all, Celtic certainly haven't been waiting till the end of the month of January, Hugh, because I think Rangers have cranked it up with them now.
Yeah, and it's, we know, we've been talking all season that the Celtic needed another striker. It's extraordinary to realise that Lewis Morgan at one time was playing centre forward, and he's away. So Celtic needed a centre forward. They got one. It's interesting looking at Harold Black back there. I believe he came in the January window as well, and he was instrumental in Celtic winning, stopping 10 in a row. Yeah,
of course, Klimala, 21-year-old, $3.5 million, 4.5-year deal. The gauntlet has been laid down by that old firm defeat for Celtic, so they've got backup. I thought yesterday, his arrival could put Lee Griffiths further down the pecking order. Darren, you know Lee well. Will he take it lying down?
I don't think he will. But it's up to him to show that he's still got what it takes, and there's no doubt when he's on his game he has. But that tells me that he might be a wee bit further behind than I probably thought he was. Bringing in the striker. Well, by all reports, he plays on the shoulder. He's very quick. He scores goals. I think that's what they need, and that's what Lee would give you. But that's what they need, because big Edwards, big guy, will take it in, link the play and all that. There's no one stretching the game, and I think that's probably what they're looking for. If they need another dimension, bring someone on that's going to go in behind. Yeah, Hugh, have a look at the stats on Klimala. What do you make of him and what he's got to offer?
Well, he's young, he's powerful, he's quick. And he scores goals. Now, the big question is, and you can all see it, people make up their minds now on the size of the transfer fee or the league that the lad is coming from. I'll reserve judgment on him till actually see him in the flesh. But I think there's an interesting thing at Celtic, which is more a tactical thing. I wonder if Celtic and Neil Lennon might go 3-5-2 in the season as well later on, and that's the way they ended the Rangers game. And I'm just wondering if he's saying to himself, like, let's be more offensive, let's go for it. This is what our personnel, you can have Ayer, Julian and whoever as a three, pack the midfield, two wing backs and have two up front. It certainly gives them that option.
Yeah, certainly something he knows. Here's what Klimala has to offer. So he's in. There's another one on the way, apparently, Darren. This is an Ivorian midfielder, Ismaila Soro. It could be the second signing within the next 24 hours. Maybe it'll stretch towards the weekend.
Yeah, well, I saw a report on likening him to N'Golo Kante. If he's that much as good as they've got a player.
Calm your jets. I think they were talking about Jackson's the new Miroslav Klose when you signed. I mean, let's not build this all up.
If he's that type of player, is that what they need? Probably the legs, yes, would be good. But I still think he'll be getting added to the squad. I don't think he's going to come in and take over it because Scott Brown's going to play with influence. Scott has. McGregor, I think it's coming at a real good time. The break for McGregor to give him a chance to recharge his batteries, and then Ryan Christie's going to be out, but they've got Rogic to come in and all that. So I think he'll be added to the squad. But if the reports are what you read, is good quality, and that's what they need.
Yeah, okay. Celtic take their place in the Scottish Cup this weekend. We're back to the football after the break. Here's the fixtures that everyone can look forward to. Of course, we'll be discussing Rangers just shortly. They're taking on Stranraer on Friday. Bonnyrigg Rose against Clyde St Johnstone, Morton, Livingston Wraith Rovers, Kilmarnock against Queen's Park, Hamilton Accies against Edinburgh City. It's Ayr United against Ross County, Alloa against Inverness Cally Thistle, and as you can see there, East Kilbride against BSC. That should be a real humdinger. I know quite a few players on either side there. St Mirren Broxburn are both against Falkirk, Hearts Airdrie, Aberdeen Dumbarton, Partick Thistle Celtic. That's a 5:30 kick-off on the Saturday evening. And then Dundee against Motherwell and a cracker. Dundee United against Hibernian. I was going to say two of the clubs that Darren has played for, but there's 22 from all across that Scottish Cup card there, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Incidentally, just building up to those games, Harold Bratback, who's one of Darren's former teammates, was back in Scotland today. I don't know if he flew his own plane in, but he certainly was in Scotland to talk about the whole situation, the race for the title, Celtic with the League Cup in the bag, Scottish Cup at the weekend as well. And he did mention in the title race that Harold, looking back on his own time at Celtic, winning 10 in a row and stopping 10 in a row. One of them is slightly easier than the other.
Definitely. I think the pressure of winning 10 in a row is bigger than stopping 10 in a row, because when you have to win 10 in a row, you have to be good for 10 consecutive seasons. If you have to stop it, you only have to be good for one season. Or you could have a fluke for spell of 5-6 games and win the league title in front of the other team.
Yep, Harold, I can remember Harold Bratback coming. I've never met a nicer gentleman than Harold Bratback, to be perfectly honest with you. His manners were impeccable, Hugh.
Yeah, and I remember his debut. We came on against Hearts round about Christmas time, and it was a game that Celtic were struggling in. It was nothing each at the time. And I remember him warming up and ready to come on, and he was greeted with scenes that would have paid honour to the arrival of the Messiah. And I just remember him kind of shuddering, going, is this the kind of noise? Is this the expectation that's now on me?
Yeah.
I think Celtic went on won that game with Craig Burley, but that was the kind of season that won. And I think that is going to be the kind of season we're going to get. There's going to be stadiums shuddering under the noise from now to the summer.
And you won't know this, but obviously you like this kind of link as a journalist. But great similarities, of course. Teammates, Darren Jackson and Harold Bratback, strikers as well, and at the end of their careers, both of them went into luxury travel. One of them has a plane, and the other one can take 5 or 6 down to wherever they want to go. I mean, I give them the similarities don't end there.
I don't knock it. We're more likely to be calling Darren than we are to be calling Harold for the night out.
That's the way that you call it.
Absolutely. Anyway, apart from that, it was good to see Harold, and rolling back the years as well. Great to see Mark Walters now. For the benefit of any younger people out there, if you get a chance, get on YouTube and watch some of Mark Walters, because there was a little shimmy and a step over that he used to do that everybody says, we know what he's going to do, but could they stop him? No, they couldn't. Mark was back in Glasgow. Great to see him, and he was talking about the similarities between the job that Stephen Gerrard is doing now, trying to get the power back across the city to Rangers, and what he actually experienced under Graham Souness.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's been very similar to when Souness came here, funny enough. I think there's a big similarity. Obviously, Souness had a lot more money to buy players, but the development and the improvement's been very, very, very good. So with the, as I say, this is a really, really important time for him. If they've improved or realised the mistakes they made last winter break, then that would be a good indicator to how well he's doing personally and how the team's going to do.
I thought he was a great player, Hugh, but you know, just talking there, Souness, you know, we're talking, what, 1986, and you know, Steven Gerrard would kill for the budget that Stephen Graham Souness had then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're signing the English captain, so that's like saying that Harry Kane's going to come, you know, in the summer to Rangers. I mean, that's the level. They were signing signing the English captain. They were signing the English goalkeeper, the right back, the wide right man, the Stevens and Stevens. I mean, Colin, the interesting thing about both of them, big one point of both Souness and Gerrard is that they've followed the same template in, yeah, definitely quality, but their number twos, I think, are crucial. Walter Smith then, and I think Michael Beale now, very crucial to the way Rangers play.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, they're up against Stranraer. So again, I don't see any, you know, real decisive picture for us to see until we get to March and April, both in title races and Scottish Cups. I mean, I know Partick Thistle and Stranraer will be slightly miffed at me for writing them off, but I think it's March and April when the real, what I call it, Fergie time, because it's when really good teams make the push.
Yeah, you're right, Peter, that's when it will happen. And I think that's where you see players handle it. And I'm not saying that Celtic players have been over the course. The Rangers players haven't really been over the course when they've been this close. So we'll see they've done really well to get where they are, and they've got a manager who's been over the course as well. So, but it's the atmosphere from the terracing as well when you're 0-0, and it gets onto the pitch and it gets onto the players. And as I say, that's the pressure when you're with the Old Firm that you've got to be able to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if we're talking about the money and the vast amounts of money that were available to Graham Souness, what about the money that's available nowadays? Just look at Celtic and Rangers in the Deloitte rich list. And as you can see there, Hugh, Barcelona, 741 million, and they haven't won the Champions League in a few years. And look at the money that's available, and look at the money at the bottom end. Celtic 70th in this table, Rangers are 120th.
Yep, and the real explosion, as we know, has come from two sources. One's television revenues, and the second is merchandise. And over the years, as a journalist, I've managed to go to Barcelona decade after decade. And one thing I've always noticed, every time I go there, is the superstore is added another level. And people now, doesn't matter what day you're in Barcelona, people go out to that stadium and do the walk through of the superstore. So the revenues football's changed with, in my lifetime, with beyond recognition.
I'll tell you how football's changed, Hugh. You can have £741 million of revenue. You can be the top of the table ahead of Real Madrid, and your manager can get sacked. Ernesto Valverde gone, and Quique Setien brought in because they want to get back to the Johan Cruyff ethos, that philosophy on how to play football.
And Barcelona are a crucial time in their history now. As you point out, they haven't won the Cup with the big lugs for a while. Their prime assets are not young players. Yes. They're players that are going. We're now whispering about a post-Messi. Suarez is injured, and it looks as serious as a post-Messi, post-Suarez age, and that's going to be a real culture shock. But football is crazy. I mean, because you've got, if you look at it, the team that spent the most money in the world, the team with some of the greatest resources in the world, is 16 points off the lead in their domestic championship. But if I had said to you Manchester City should sack Pep Guardiola, there'd be outbreaks of laughter.
Yeah.
Everyone's to do with context and perspective,
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hugh. Of course, I think we might be shouting that at the end of the season if he doesn't win the Champions League. He's only spent 648 million. Let's not put him under too much pressure. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Christophe Berra. We're going to be talking, of course, about Scottish Cup ties, maybe some good memories from Darren before we get to the end of the programme. And as ever, we never let you down. There's always a quiz. Good luck with our competition. You'll win yourself a cracking T-shirt if you indeed are able to answer the question there. Hugh, did you get it at point 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5?
I think I might have it, but I'm not certain. I'm usually pretty certain I've either got them right or wrong, but I'm not. I've got an answer, but I'll be interested to see what's right.
You're on the mark, aren't you? Don't tell us, okay? No, you don't know. All right. That smile on your face, which usually tells me you're in command. Darren, as a player, there are moments in your life where you actually realise, look, I'm either going to I can't do it at this level, I'm going to have to take a step down. Sometimes it's painful for players when a manager comes in and says, listen, you're out the door, and you happen to be the captain. Christophe Berra's in that situation. Hearts want Matty Kennedy from St Johnstone, so they're trying to throw their captain over that way. Can you see it happening?
I can see it happening because defensively St Johnstone have been kind of struggling, so an experienced player like Tommy Likes, like Fraser Wright, Anderson, Dave Mackay, I can see it, and I think for Christophe it's probably better he goes and he'll end rather than just sitting about and because he's had a great career. You don't want to just everyone to forget about you. Go and play. I still think he's got something to give to us St Johnstone. I had the same scenario with myself. Craig actually came in to Hearts in the first day, says, and I'd played against Cowdenmeath pre-season, and in that game I struggled. My back had gone. And Craig came in and says that you'll not play for me, you're better moving on. And I went to Livingston, and you're better just moving on and just trying to. And luckily I went to Livingston and we actually won the first division, so it was great. Yeah. So Christophe wants to end his career, maybe not on a high, but playing rather than just diminishing and just being in the reserves and playing training with the kids, which I think is poor.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, other clubs are going to be making signings as well. To try and avoid relegation, to try and get the push into the top 6, to try and finish as high as possible. Alec Dyer's got a chance to impress till the end of the season at Kilmarnock with signings Kwame Thomas and Harry Bunn. Strikers in there to try and get him goals.
Yeah, and that's what the whole game's about. That's the most difficult thing. That moves you from, you can have teams of really equal merits, and sometimes a team that's stronger a team than a guy in a Ross County like a Mackay or a Boyce can score abundant of goals. You see what Shanklin's doing at Dundee United. He's been a real game changer for them. So yeah, goals and goals are expensive as well. You've got to, if you're dealing with budgets, you've got to be pretty lucky to get a regular goal scorer in. But yeah, try to put a bit of pressure on Brophy as well, who had a great season last season.
Yep. Okay, just to finish, a couple of points, all on a sad note. Roughie's not here today. He'll be back tomorrow because he's attending the funeral of Colin Weir, who was the majority shareholder at Thistle. He was true to his word. He was a Jags fan, and he wanted to make sure that Partick Thistle fans had their club in safe hands. And just before he died, he managed to do that, Hugh.
Yeah, you know, we've now got a Jackie Lowe-led board that'll have. They'll obviously let this period of mourning, quite rightly, pass before they come out and talk about their plans. But I'm sure they will have them. I'm sure there'll be provision made by Colin for Thistle going forward. It's just a marvellous thing he did for the club. You know, real concrete stuff. You know, the academy bears his name. He put his money where his mouth was. And if you've ever met him, I'm sure you did on occasion, a really genuinely humble man.
Yep, absolutely, and I think I echo the sentiments of so many across the footballing world. Our condolences to Colin Weir's family and all his friends, and of course I think the Jags fans over a long period of time will start to realise the enormity of the gesture of making sure that Partick Thistle as a football club have a great foundation for years to come. Anyway, that's the sad note there. Thanks very much to Hugh and Darren. The last point I'm going to make to you guys, any cup shocks for you this weekend, if anything, can you see, Hugh?
There's one. I just looked at Hearts Airdrie. Airdrie are doing quite well, and Hearts are in the mire. They've got to turn things around. I just had a wee look at that. I don't think Dundee United, whatever way Dundee United Hibs win, I wouldn't think that would be a shock.
Yeah.
it'll be a good test for Dundee United to see where they are. They're 17 points ahead. It'll be a good test. I still think Hibs will come out on top. But I think Hearts will get a result. I do think.
Okay then, you can tell that Hugh's not going out for a meal in Edinburgh this weekend, so he's just tipping more misery for the Jambos. Thanks very much to Hugh and Darren. I leave you tonight dedicating this programme to a great friend of Alan Rough and myself. We encountered Scott Glynn on more than a few occasions across sporting dinners. He was a larger-than-life character, a former rugby player and a great after-dinner speaker. And I know today so many of his friends and family across there in Trinent were saying farewell to him. So from everyone on the Football Show, we're dedicating this programme to Scott Glynn and condolences to all his family and friends as well. He will be sadly missed. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.